Good morning. Coaching is a very important part of any player's life. Everyone needs coaching in improving their skills, in improving their fitness, and to improve the ability to play across the competitions and also to face difficult situations in the game. A coach is a true mentor and a true trainer and a true motivator. Coach needs a very strong knowledge base, and he should have wonderful communication skills. He should be able to motivate every single player whom he coaches so that they pick up skills from him very easily, confidently, and able to replicate in their life while facing an opponent. We often find in Indian players do not lack good coaches, but somehow they are not able to get things from them. You ask even the top players like Sania Mirza, P.T. Usha, and many cricketers, they often do not say in particular about one coach, because these people have the ability to pick up things from different people, different coaches, and they make up their abilities to become a champion. So part 1 is to provide coaching. Part 2 is to grab coaching. So here, these are the two partners, a player and a coach. Player should have all his windows open in his mind so that he gets every communication from the coach. The coach relentlessly striving hard to communicate from the bottom of his heart. If these two coexist, then the coaching goes on. We have two problems in our situation. Firstly, lack of regular education and refreshing training to many of our coaches. The coach is not at fault. It is the organizations and the federations and the government who do not train adequately, who do not provide them good opportunity. So many coaches stuck. In my 30 years of experience, I have seen even sometimes coaches at the national level who are trailing with the national team often lack certain important issues and often lack understanding of updating of certain issues. And we often get coaches from other countries and we train them by spending lots of money, and we hardly get anything out of them because their language of communication is poor and they are all white elephants. Bearing a foreign coach in Indian soil is very difficult. For example, we got many Russian coaches in the past. They are too pricey and their communication is hardly anything. But they are taskmasters. But however, process goals are not achieved properly and the result goals are also not achieved. No wonder we didn't get many bigger results in Olympics and bigger tournaments. So every segment of the society is responsible for not able to have a wonderful coach who can dedicate. Not necessarily a coach has to be highly qualified. Even a very less qualified coaches have done wonders in the world. It is important to be from heart. Coach has to be a coach. We often remember in Hyderabad the age-old great cricketer and great coach, Mr. Sampath. Similarly, there are so many coaches all over the country. We brought laurels to our nation and wonderful skills to our players. But there is a problem in developing a system to have a wonderful coach all through in all training camps of the country. The major issues with the coaches and the organizations are ego. If one tries to tell something or suggest something to a coach, he feels his ego is broken down. Unfortunately, it should be the other way around. The learning process doesn't end, and reaching a next level doesn't end. So coach has to learn himself and teach the others. Now let us look at the other end of the paradigm. The learner, the student, the player has to have a very, very wide open mind. Allow information to flow inside the brain. Allow important information to bring changes in himself. And allow information to update his intricate, deficient areas. So student has to be an open student. He can't say, I have 20 years of experience, sorry, I don't need to learn anymore. The learning goes on. So the learner, the student, has to grab his knowledge from the coach's pocket. For that, student has to be obedient and should work very, very hard, should burn his midnight candles so the benefits come. If not today, tomorrow. Now let us look at the training centers and academies all over the country. If you look at a police training center, army training center, sports training centers, academic training centers, you always see people who are about to retire are posted there. That means the head of the institution may not have so much of interest. In some training centers, it is also believed that all the heads of the center is going to retire from there. That means they are nothing to look forward for them, and there is no motivation in the leadership. How does a training center improve? So leadership in a training center is very, very important. Government should rethink. They should post an officer who is upcoming officer, who has more scope for more ranks in future, so that he brings changes. Secondly, the staff in a training center are very, very crucial for the not only developing of a training center and also the development of a country, a whole nation itself. They should be not only academic, they must be practically oriented people. Let us talk about a cricket coach. In a training center, a cricket coach with a team. An example, a coach in a training center should have more inclination towards training, and he should have the ability to simplify a complex issue to be understood by the student, by a trainee. There is no need of a game strategy in a training center, but there is a dire need of correction of a skill. It takes a whole lot of time to educate a player. It's a wholesome job. It's not simply 2 hours of just coaching makes a player. In fact, You are involving another life. I think coaching a boy means growing a child. You need to put all positive influx into his mind. Make them appear reflexly when he desires. That's why the coach in training center is different from a coach with a team. A coach with a team should be more well versed with strategy, a game strategy, a crisis strategic management. He should be able to modify the game when it's in crisis. He should have the ability to plan a game, for example, a batting order, bowling order, if field changes, assisting the captain of the team to handle the team, a team building operation, and strategically training them mentally strong during the peak competition period. Many times we see these strategic coaches are put in a training center. Absolutely waste of resource. Similarly, you put a good training coach putting with the team. Waste of resource. He's of no use to the team. Many times I see a good conditioning coach with lot of training, understanding, is going with the team where he has no time to train them. But these are the kind of resources should be kept in the training centers. Similarly, the senior coaches and senior staff in training centers should have more inclination towards training-oriented attitude. You talk today something, you demonstrate tomorrow, and you monitor day after tomorrow. That is the order of the day. I repeat, you teach a skill today, you make your student demonstrate tomorrow, and day after you should be able to monitor by recording, by seeing and making him realize whether he has learnt or not. Just simply talking won't help. So I am putting it again. Government, federations, agencies, training centers should look at more prospectively, putting a people in appropriate positions. Otherwise, we'll be simply arguing and discussing why we are not getting Olympic medals. And dear players, remember, learning is a continuous process. You may come into Ranji team or you may come into national team of any other game. It doesn't stop you from learning. You must learn from your competitors. You must learn from your colleagues. You must learn from your coach. And finally, you must learn from your own output. That is, if you write your training logbook, you will easily pick up things from your book. What have you been doing wrong? What have you been doing right? So that you can modify your future strategy of game. So dear coach, dear student, and the in charges of training centers, please make a note. These things are few thoughts come out of my brain. Thank you, Dr. Bakhtiar, wishing you all the best.